So today I'm going to talk about many industries, and I'm going to use these industries to explain the concepts that I have found in the book that I read, The Invisible Influence. So the study of consumers helps companies and organizations to improve their marketing strategies by understanding issues that are touched by the book I have read, The Invisible Influence, such as the psychology of how consumers think, feel, reason, and select between different alternatives. That can be services, brands, products. Then, the psychology of how the consumer is influenced by his or her environment. That can be culture, family, science, and media. Then, the behavior of consumers while shopping or making other marketing decisions. Limitations in consumer knowledge or information processing abilities influence decisions and marketing outcome. How consumers' motivation and decision strategies differ between products that differ in their level of importance or interest that they entail for the customer. And lastly, how marketers can adapt and improve their marketing campaigns and marketing strategies to more effectively reach the customer. Consumer influence behavior involves the study of how people, either individually or in groups, acquire, use, experience, discard, and make decisions about goods, services, or even lifestyle practices such as socially responsible and healthy eating. Now going over the mimicry definition, and then imitation and differentiation concepts. I will explain them by using the personal care of consumers, products, and services, so the concept is easily learned by the people that is listening to this presentation. Mimicry is the action of imitating someone or something, and some beauty products reference natural elements in their packaging. Whether intended to reference the product's ingredients or simply relate to nature on a broader level, this shift reveals that consumers respond to branding that offers a more tangible connection to nature. Also, as said in the book, people are easily attracted when the company takes care of the environment and shows that the company has a strong connection with the planet. Mimicry is a very used marketing strategy in many companies. The difference between mimicry and imitation is that to mimic something is to repeat it, but not necessarily accurately. Imitation is easy to explain because it is done all around the world, and people can find imitation of personal care products much cheaper than buying renowned and famous strong personal care brands. Here you can see how some workers are making fake lorry.
Much. In today's Money Matters, we're talking about online makeup sales. The low prices of online makeup sales come up as suspicious to many makeup suppliers. Mary Kay, the sixth largest US-based cosmetic supplier, earlier this year asked a third-party auditor to do an investigation on their products sold on most big Chinese e-commerce websites. The result of this investigation showed that nearly 50% of the sample products are counterfeits. According to 21st Century Business Herald, counterfeits sold online are not just happening with Mary Kay products. There's an entire system to the process. Guangdong and Jiangsu are two commonly known base areas for counterfeit production. Some factories in these areas provide counterfeits with wholesale prices lower than 10% of the original product. Some better counterfeits are also imported from Taiwan and Vietnam. Most local cosmetic factories in mainland China only produce the material found inside makeup bottles, but without the bottles and packaging. This is because production of the material by itself is legal, but not with the bottle. If sold with the bottle, then officials will be quick to investigate it. High volume production of makeup bottles and containers is often targeted by officials investigating counterfeits. Normally, it's the packaging that's considered illegal. In order to get around these laws, the suppliers are using two separate factors. Some legal producers of some small Chinese cosmetic brands welcome the business of providing the containers. Some other producers in Taiwan and Vietnam have also been found to provide the separate packaging services. The fake products don't easily get to the market. In the very beginning, most suppliers will actually provide consumers with real products offered on the e-commerce sites. After the brand has made enough sales to win over the consumer's trust, then the suppliers get certificates reputation for online sales. They will then start swapping some of the real products with fake products. The case with Mary Kay involved the e-commerce site first selling real products and then switching them later. The real half of the products is usually smuggled to Hong Kong. For consumers, the smuggled products are riskier, as they might have quality problems. Also, the warranties from the official brand suppliers will be avoided. Online shops sell convenience to consumers, and the huge number of female Chinese shoppers online is a huge market. Many of the consumers will stay with the sites purely for the convenience and price, especially since many have trouble differentiating between fake and real products. However, the development of China's very promising e-commerce industry is at risk without reliable and credible service. Building a company around the principle of deceiving consumers isn't usually considered a good business model. Don't go away, because up next for our question of the day, we'll hear fake users can tell fakes from the real thing. Stay tuned.
And then lastly, in marketing, differentiation is the process of distinguishing a product or service from others to make it more attractive to a particular target market. In the personal care industry, it is easy to differentiate by the packaging, as said before with the mimicry definition. It is important to create a brand memory through consumer experience with packaging, which packaging can create. Also, a moment of discovery or engagement can be created, which adds a lot of value to the brand. Packaging is one of the most important decisions a personal care company has to take into consideration. But here you can see some examples of the packaging of these personal care products that you can still see that they are really similar, but they still have original features that make customers get these products and not the other ones, the other competitors. But differentiation is very different with the airlines for some reasons. First, and the most obvious, is that customer service in the airlines industry is seen, and this is why it is a big factor for people when deciding which airline to fly with. Comfortability is another factor for airlines differentiation that it is not found in the personal care industry. Safety, another one, not only in flight but on the ground as well. And lastly, waiting time between connecting flights is a big factor as well, and there's no such waiting in the personal care industry, for these products are directly bought by customers in stores and are not as luxurious products as airline tickets are. Here you can see in this graph the differentiation in the US airline industry and the different brands. And for me, it was surprising how United is like down and it's not really strong, because usually I take United and it's a really good service, but here is something different. And going over to divergence is to draw apart the deviation from a course or from a standard. I will explain divergence using the technological strategies among electric car firms. While challenges for these firms are similar in the electric vehicles industry, their strategies are highly divergent. Institutions do exert influence, but for firms, the institutional factors and institutional patterns they perceive, value, and respond to can be remarkably dissimilar. These relevant firms, governments, suppliers may align with each other, but for some developmental goals. Thus, in order to generate a clear picture of the divergent technological marketing strategies, they need to take into account workers will have to ally with each other. So even with its legacy from the central planning system and despite governmental intervention, firms are still dramatically different in their strategies. Firms will have to diverge even if they are trying to create the same product at the end. But as for electric cars, many different features can be added, and these features will take the firm onto a totally different path than their competitors. And this is what is called divergence. Here is a video of the three extremely cheap electric cars war.
Electric vehicles are getting more and more attractive,
thanks to not only their improved performance, but also the incentives given by the government, thus making the total price get extremely cheap.
Since the Chinese government adopted a plan offering up to $12,000 subsidies, the country has been hitting a record by the sales of the electric cars.
General Motors, in partnership with Shanghai Automotive Industry Corporation, have launched their first fully electric car called the Beijing E100. The E100 is a small two-seater inspired by the Smart for 2 electric drive. It's powered by a 29-kilowatt electric motor that produces 81 pound-feet of torque and delivers a top speed of 62 miles per hour. The lithium-ion battery pack provides 100 miles of range on a single charge. Inside, the vehicle is equipped with 7-inch touchscreen display with wireless connectivity. It comes with a number of safety features that give more confidence on the road. The car costs $5,300 after the government subsidies. India targets to sell 10 million electric cars in 2030, and the major automakers have already started to hit the market with their electric models. Tata Motors has a strong global network of associate companies like Jaguar and Land Rover. It sells their vehicles in more than 50 countries. The company has already gone electric on the design basis of their gasoline-powered cars, and now has formed a joint venture with JM Automotive to produce the cheapest electric car in India, called the JM Neo. It's a 4-seater electric hatchback that can go up to 200 kilometers on a single charge. The vehicle will be available initially for the Delhi roads, with a price at around $7,000. Renault, which has the largest range of electric cars on sale in Europe, has also the cheapest electric car on their list in the continent. Renault Twizy is a 4-wheel, 2-seater, but a lot of fun to drive. The eco-friendly urban transport offers 60 miles of range on a single charge, can reach a top speed of 50 miles per hour. The vehicle has a starting price of about £7,000 British pounds, but for the battery, you have to pay an extra £45 a month. So, do you think the destiny of the streets is electric drive? Let us know in the comment section below.
So yeah, these cars seem pretty amazing. Following counterfeiting is to imitate another brand, which it is a criminal act, as it happened with Burberry, the British clothing brand that destroyed more than 28 million euros in clothing, around $32.1 million in value, including some beauty items. This action of destroying their products is done so they can protect intellectual property and so they can prevent illegal counterfeiting by ensuring the supply chains remain intact. And since Burberry's products are very expensive, they don't fall in bankruptcy by following this strategy of destroying products. Here you have a video to see how to avoid buying Burberry's bags.
Hi, I'm Ryan. I'm a personal stylist and fashion writer, and I'm here today to help you spot what's been for a really good Burberry handbags are expensive because of the attention to detail on the products which they lay out on, and that's what's really important when buying a handbag to avoid buying a fake. Let's take firstly outside the handbag. The Burberry fabric pattern should match up at all points around the handbag. The side space in front of the handbag should allow the pattern to match up to line perfectly without any mismatches or crossover. If it doesn't match or is not fake, typical Burberry makeup handbags, it's important to research and design online links so you know why. Check to Prada's collection pattern without color issue. And the designer ball is one that genuinely